Okay, this little segment is going to run before all of the weekly updates of the top 25 results during the course of the season. And the purpose for this is really just to kind of lay out the ground rules for my recommendations on which of the recorded games are worth spending time watching. Um, my rules are generally subjective, but you know, this is what I use to make my judgment on whether a game is worth watching as a recorded game. Number one, if the game went to overtime, I think that's probably a competitive game. Number two, if a lower ranked team beats a higher ranked team, it's an upset. I think that's worth watching. And number three, if the final score is within 9 points, I think that's an indication that it's a pretty competitive game. So every week we're going to look at this table. We're looking at week one right now, and we can launch our game from this page. So with that, we'll move on to our weekly updates. Okay, we're going to do a recap of week one for the 2018 season for the top 25 ranked teams in college football. Week one is usually a week where there are a lot of blowouts. A lot of ranked teams play unranked teams and play on their home field. It's really just sort of a warm-up weekend. So there are a lot of lopsided scores, especially in the first week. But there are some good games here this week, and you can see that they're ranked here. We have several games that were close. We had 4 upsets, and we had 1 overtime game. Penn State, Appalachian State turned out to be a really good game, but I coded the Notre Dame Michigan game, so we'll go to that. I'll click on that line in the table, and that will take us to that game. But when we get to that game, I'll turn the sound down as always so that I can talk over the video. So here we go. Okay, so what I did this year was I created something new. It's a key playlist functionality for the media player. This is so that a list of key plays can be assembled along with commentary for why the play is important. And it's intended, for commentator use, for coaches use, for whoever wants to just create highlights from a particular game. And so I created a standard key playlist that will go along with every game, which is the scores and the turnovers. So that's what we'll look at for this game. So I'll invoke that by hitting the appropriate key. And this is the first score by Michigan, very early in the game at 13:35 in the first quarter. So it didn't take them long. They scored on their first drive. So we move to the next play, which is, of course, the extra point. And then we use the arrow key to move to the next play that matches the filter, which will be another score or a turnover. And it is a score by Michigan or Notre Dame, and it's in my opinion, a pretty lucky score. He just threw that a long way into double coverage. He's very fortunate that his guy came down with the ball there. That's just my opinion, though. So the next play is the extra point for that touchdown. And you see that we're halfway through the first quarter there, and Notre Dame's up 14-0. So Michigan comes back and gets on the board in the second quarter with a field goal. We go to the next play, which will be a turnover or a score, and it is a score for Michigan. Another touchdown. Still in the second quarter. Followed by the extra point. And then this next play is a real bright spot for Michigan. Their guy takes kickoff back for a touchdown. And he almost got stripped there, right around the 40-yard line. Let's go back and look at that again, just so that we can see that strip, or that almost strip, right there. So, and there's the extra point for that touchback or touchdown. This one's a turnover. A really nice over the shoulder catch, but it's the wrong guy. And here's a long field goal at the beginning of the third quarter, or near the end of the third quarter. 48-yard field goal, that's pretty good. This is an interception. See, watch him get off balance and throw that ball. So this is Michigan's only touchdown from scrimmage. It takes it to 16-17 with the extra point to 24 in the fourth quarter, and that's the end of the scoring. That is the final. So Michigan kept it close. There is one more play, but it's a turnover with less than a minute left in the game. It's kind of too bad. Michigan had the ball heading into the end of the game. They had a chance to get down the field and maybe tie it up. So anyway, that's it. We'll be doing this every week during the season, looking at highlights from one or two games, but always looking at which games are more interesting. And then it's always possible to see more functionality for the media player on both Facebook and on the YouTube channel for JMK Drive. So thanks for watching.